And Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And 345 Equipment, quality machinery, parts, and repair services for all of your construction equipment needs. Call 525-0021 or email info@345equipment.ky.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. Here's your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. Today is Thursday, November 10th. It's a full day today on the Business Buzz. We have two segments. We're going to start off this morning. The first segment, we'll have a chat with Junior and Ray Hides of Hides & Sons to learn more about the company and what's in store promotion-wise. On the second segment, after the 8 o'clock news, the 8 o'clock news break, we'll have guests from the RCIPS. But in the meantime, let's welcome Ray and Junior Hides to the studio. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Mr. Anita.
I saw them writing with pen, Susan. Good morning, Susan. And, it's not an exam, This is fun. This is fun, all right? It's supposed to be fun. So, Junior and Ray, I feel like I've watched the two of you grow up.
Yeah.
You have?
Your mom always around, Miss Mary.
That's right.
And for years, I've watched you guys just grow up.
Yes.
Now look at you.
Yeah.
Handsome young man.
Did we grow up?
Oh yeah, you sure did.
Okay.
And you grew along with the company.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I'm gonna pick on Ray this morning because you're older than Junior, right?
I'm so very happy, Mr. Anita, that he brought that up because the fact is that Junior is actually 18 months older than I am.
Oh yeah.
But if you ask 100 people, people would say exactly what you just said. That they think I'm the eldest one. I'm not sure why.
I always thought that it was you then. And then
everybody thinks that. Right?
Yeah.
He doesn't get insulted.
Not
at all. It's been too long now.
I guess because he's got a mature. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no. It is, though. Well, he's more serious than I am.
And more gray hairs, Mr. Anita. Just admit it, yeah.
I mean, you're working harder than Junior.
Well, I'm not sure about that part, but I'm the Hides and Junior's the Manderson. Yeah.
So, guys, take us back to when the business first opened. You were probably helping your dad in the with the business, right? Back in the days. So let's take us back to when you first started and how the company has grown over the years.
Well, Ms. Anita, I must tell you, it's looking back, Junior and I quite often reminisce about how you would find this a small man. He's probably no more than 110 pounds, which he still is.
That's your dad.
That's my dad, or that's Mr. Edmund Hides. So we would find him, whenever you've seen Dad, you would find these two little boys, one on the left and one on the right. He would trick us to do many things, to be able to drive the car, and he would tell us to kind of con us to do many activities so we were able to drive the car with him. But at that point, at that time, Dad was warehouse manager for A.L. Thompson. And yes, Mr. Altier, I guess we're giving you a free plug this morning.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
So Dad was there many years, and the business actually got started with whenever A.L. Thompson would bring their windows and screens, and it was broken. Dad would bring them home, and I bet Junior and I probably might have been in our 10 or 12 years old when we rolled in our first screen. Dad kind of took us under a Nesberry tree and sprayed a piece of plywood out and formed a screen and showed us how to make a screen. Henceforth, it was born back that long ago. We moved into a small mini warehouse probably in the early 80s. I graduated from high school in 82. Junior graduated from high school in 81. I graduated in 82. He went on to work at Foster's. I went on to work at Republic Airlines. And we started in a very small mini warehouse and got our first trade business license. So our business is about 35 years old this year. And as you rightly say, Miss Susan, Miss Anita, the rest is history.
Yeah. And I mean, look, you've gone from under the Nesberry tree to look at Yes, where are you located right now?
Yeah, well, it's 84 Printers
under two mangoes.
We cut the Nesberry tree down actually. But just to plug with what Ray said as well is it's like we always had a good upbringing from our dad, and our dad,
and your mom.
And our mom, of course. But we looked at
Prayer warrior.
Oh yes, oh yes.
on the business buzz side of it was my dad. He was always my mom stopped working when our last brother was born, and she was just the greatest mom ever. Kept us the family rounded, but dad was always the one teacher. He taught us so much. We learned to fish, we learned to sell fish, we learned to do screens and everything. That's kind of how their business was born. Through him, just having the opportunity to do a window screen, and then from there just escalated. And we took our licks. I mean, don't get me wrong. When we first started in like 1987, when we were registered, so that's why this year is 35 years. It was hard because we all had good jobs. Dad was at Hampstead at the time.
I remember that. We were right next door to me.
Of course. That's right. And then I was at Foster's, and I was GM there, and Ray had a good job at Northwest, and we all quit our jobs, and we thought we were crazy, but we knew that if we probably stick with it long enough, it would pay off. And perseverance does pay off, and here we are today, 35 years later, and glad we made that transition.
Congratulations. And your dad, he's always been a hard worker, Mr. Edmund.
Oh, without a doubt. Small but hard working.
Small,
and he would always say to Junior, myself, Miss Anita, sorry, that he said, boys, consistency and anything you do in life pays off. He said, just keep plugging away, keep working at it.
Yeah, and look at the two of you. Yeah. Very proud of you. Now, let's talk about... You've got a hurricane shutter sale on right now?
Yeah, in fact, what happened was in the last several years, there's been a lull, should I say, in sales of shutters, and predominantly because a lot of people now have impact windows. But for those that didn't have, and something spurred in me on this last trip we had here, this hurricane, it was Ian, and we just got so much phone calls in one day. I mean, we had 4 lines, and we have my 2 sons is now with the company, and they're the future of Hyde and Son, just like how that's Josh, Josh, and then my oldest son, Joseph. And
so it's
both
now
of those,
Hyde's sons and grandsons.
Yeah, and they'll take up the mantle from us, and they're doing very well in the business and adapting and so forth. And then my other son and my daughter then does the preschool, which my late wife used to have. And so when I was sitting down thinking, with all these phone calls coming in, why is it that that a lot of people don't have shutters? And people procrastinate, so do I. We all do. And suddenly we found that there was a lot of people reaching in for shutters at the time. Of course, it's almost like the villain of the Ark. No, it's too late once the doors are shut, and it was just too late for us to help her do anything. And so, what we did have in stock, we sold out very quickly, and then we started. So I started a campaign saying, well, okay, the average person might be able to afford stuff because of right now the economy is so the cost of living is high and everything else. So I because they're 35 years anniversary as well, we have a special on all shutters. It's 15% discount on all shutters, and that'll be and it's been extended from until January, and then but there's on accordions, which is the most popular shutters we have.
My favorite.
That's right. So is mine.
You supplied mine.
That's 20% discount, and then we also and we have like almost. I like Ray's term. It's called like a layaway, where you can put down the deposit and keep paying in. You after like 6 months to pay, to make your final payment. And what that does is encourage people to, if they don't have all the money up front, they can take the payments and up to 6 months. And what that will do, that bring us right before the hurricane season next year of June. Yeah, so everybody will be secured. So that's kind of where we at right now. And it's been an outpour of a lot of estimates and people that's getting their funds and stuff in place now. But it's been in last month we had over 170 estimates.
Wow.
It's that been that. So we just want to reach out to those persons and the other persons who have not got an estimate. We still have the special on and take advantage of it though, because I never forget. We had Hurricane Ivan, and I watched one of my best friends from school, and he wanted 2 panels, just 2 panels for his house in West Bay, and I watched him walk away, and the memory etches in my mind forever, and I couldn't help him. I just needed 2 panels.
2 panels.
Because all had sold out, and it was the day of the hurricane, and so. I just encourage people to.
How did he fare out?
Yeah.
How did he manage?
He did okay. Well, West Bay did pretty good. I mean, came on in and hold it pretty good. So it was all good. The ending result was good, but just like I said, that was etched in my mind. And so I was like, you need to get your place secured, and then there's not a better feeling than when you can lock your house up and just sit down, just wait for it, as opposed to scrambling and you got so much going on in your head and how thinking about family and food and pets and everything. The last thing you want to do is just remember your house.
And I tell you what, accordion.
Yeah.
I'll sing the
2
praises.
seconds,
I can get them a ladder and just my little ladder and just get up there, close them. Because like myself, we come into work.
Right. Yeah, of course.
So you want to make sure that. So since I put on those, man, I'm like, this is
one less thing to worry about.
One less thing to worry about.
By the way, Mr. Anita, that's the most popular selling shutter.
Accordion.
The accordions, absolutely. Just because of the practicality of the accordion shutter.
I shut mine every night. Every night.
And
I guess the whole neighborhood
and
it's
a form of security.
It
as well,
is. So I shut mine, I mean, if somebody want to open that, I can hear it, if I'm in a dead sleep. But so you have a nice website, I must tell you. You've got you
Thanks to Josh.
Thanks to Josh. That's the new heads that's in there.
You've got
not good on that.
hurricane protection, screening. You do fabrication of. I didn't even realize you did gates.
Yeah, a lot.
Is that new or a new service?
No. It's been for a while.
Okay.
We do a lot of gates. I mean, people know us for screening and the hurricane shutters, but we have a fabrication shop as well. We have actually 4 fabricators that work.
Nice.
Every single day. 6 days a week, and because of crime increase and everything else and security, gates have been very, very, very popular. Every day. Yeah, there's someone calling for gates, and then we do automated gates as well.
And roofing.
Roofing.
Is that a new service?
No. It's been put this way. Mr. Rex Creighton's house was our first house, and that was the year of Ivan, right after Ivan. So we've been in it since Ivan.
Okay.
And that was 2004.
2004. Oh yeah. Oh, you can forget that.
How can we forget that? That's right. That was 40 years.
Can't forget. Yeah, you can't forget that. You cannot forget that. No. The thing about in Cayman, in the evening, mosquitoes. I mean, everybody wants a screening porch.
Yeah.
How does this work, Junior?
Our most popular, outside of the average window screen, which people brings in almost daily, our most popular item that we sell and supply and install is screening patios. We have if you call there now and booked in and paid a deposit or paid your deposit to get a patio enclosure, it wouldn't happen until probably December or more.
Oh, you're so booked.
Yeah, with patios. Patios is like the biggest. That's our bread and butter. I mean, literally, we have 2 crews and we have 2.5 because one of our supervisors actually helps out with that as well. Is that we have our patios because the average person just has a little slab around the back, and a slab is a slab. You can put a barbecue grill on it, and you can go out there when there's no mosquito. But enclosure, because we also do roofing as well on that. There's an insulated roofing screen in your patios.
Okay.
So
I know that.
You don't have to have a big, massive, structure done on it. And people use those all the time because it becomes a room now.
Absolutely.
And that's right.
Adds square footage to
adds
your property.
square footage.
And become the usable room. Sorry, Junior, but we had old ladies. I tried to convince her, you got a block in my space, and her husband wanted it, she didn't want it, and anyway, end up screening it. She said, Mr. Ray, the best thing we ever did because now it becomes a usable room, Mr. Anita. That's the difference between having just a slab sitting there as that of a back patio that's not screened.
That's right. I was looking at the website too, and I saw that you do retractable screens. I didn't know that.
Well, we're the dealer for Phantom. Phantom screens is like the Cadillac of all screens, but very costly, but so effective. Like for example, everybody nowadays want everything touch. Touch a screen and something goes up. Everything is touch now, and
something moves apart.
That's right.
Yeah. So what happened is, if you wanted your back patio screen, then it's there permanent. But if you go to the Phantom screens, for example, you have them retractable. Also, you have them roll up. And then the advantage of that, and most people, especially the high-end houses, what they do is, today's a nice, beautiful day. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. There's no mosquitoes. I'm having a birthday party on a Saturday for my kids. Let's just put all the screens up. And what they do is just touch a button because they're all automated as well. And they go up, and you have a patio that's totally bring the outside inside. field from the gardens, whatever that you have there. And what that does then is just give you that freedom of looking outside and everything is all fine. But suddenly the mosquitoes come, you touch a button, it rolls down.
6:15 at night in the
That's
evening,
right.
you can shut it.
Let's shut them back down.
Yeah.
You have the best of both worlds.
And if you're in a condo, for example, because this actually happened over where there's a big condo, they can one screen go up to 40 feet wide. So if you're in a condo, like we just asked to place an order for one which is 35 feet wide, and you're on your back porch. And you want to look at the ocean, God bless you, go right ahead. But then the mosquitoes come and say, well, look, I need to get it down. Just touch it button, it comes down. And the one screen comes all the way down. So now, suddenly, you can see it's still transparent.
Okay, so it's coming down, not from the ends.
Well, that's the roll down. Then they got to retract.
Roll down. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
so there's two. The retractable is the one from side to side. And then roll. The roll down is more popular because people don't, with a retractable, you have to physically do it.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
People like
right.
to touch buttons.
Well, for the other folks who can't afford a touch button, they can get up and put it in.
across.
We've got to take a break. Thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Insurance Center, Cayman Medical Supplies, and just a reminder, there's BRAC Medical Supplies now open in Cayman BRAC, and thanks to 345 Equipment Services. Maybe one of these days we'll add Hides and Sons to the list of sponsors of the Business Buzz. Thanks to Susan. Susan, thank you.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Land ownership, like many societies, has been extremely important to the Cayman Islands. Outside of the land grants of 1735 to 1742, the traditional Caymanian method of acquiring land ownership was to claim, mark, work, and build on any unused tract of land. Although the informal system worked well in the earlier days, a more robust system was put into place, which would be to everyone's best interest. The Land Registration Act passed in September 1850, and an official registrar of lands was appointed. Former slaves were able to obtain title to their homes, and larger landowners obtained stronger titles, which permitted them to profit by selling surplus land. The system seems to have worked almost too well, as concerns regarding land ownership became virtually obsolete, and the relatively modest population size did not deplete land resources or create a competitive market. It would not be until 1960 that the land registrations would undergo significant change in order to keep pace with the influence of modern development.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
The Rotary Central Music Extravaganza is Saturday, November 26th. Your ticket, your chance, your prize. Grand prize, $40,000. Second prize, $4,000. 6 $1,000 prizes and more. Get your $25 tickets now through Rotary Central members, Rotary Central ticket sellers, eventpro.ky, or WhatsApp Rotarian Annie Rose Scott in Cayman BRAC at 916-7310. The Rotary Music Extravaganza at Salty's Grand Harbor. Performances by Heat, Fabulous 68 and CNB. November 26th, you can be the winner. Proceeds fund Rotary Central Community Projects. Rotary Central NPO number 232. Rotary, all the good you imagine.
Choose peace of mind. Auto Shield Vehicle Protection Plans offers you motoring peace of mind and keeps you moving whether it's the middle of the night or a busy morning. An Auto Shield membership plan is the smart choice to safely and easily get through any roadside emergency. Anywhere in Grand Cayman, anytime, 24/7. That's peace of mind, knowing your loved ones won't be stranded on the roadside. Call 640-0999 or email info@autoshield.ky to enroll in peace of mind today. When it comes to your car, problems happen. Isn't it time you had some motoring peace of mind? Auto Shield conveniently offers personal and corporate automobile protection plans. Homeowners, protecting your family and property is crucial during the season, and you should always assess insurance needs long before a storm makes landfall. Most insurers won't issue policies when a storm is imminent. Cayman Insurance Center's team of professionals can help owners like you find the most comprehensive coverage and competitive rates. Call Michael Webster today at 925-5433 or Denise Brown at 814-7229. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call Michael and Denise today at Cayman Insurance Center.
Now open on the sister island, Brack Medical Supplies. Everything from over-the-counter items to home care products such as wheelchairs, crutches, bed pads, adult briefs, and PPE items. Friendly, local, loyal, and long-standing service right in the Brack. Brack Medical Supplies. Call today at 948-2228. Better yet, come see us. We are located right next to the Alexander Hotel.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. Before we take the 8 o'clock break, we've got some more chatting to do with Ray and Junior Hydes of Hydes and Sons, and I'm going to call them Hydes Sons and Grandsons. Now, we talked about patio screening. Do you do patio screening? I mean, screening for pools as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So, for example, also if you have an area in the back, so a lot of people have like a little, especially most of the apartment complexes, they have like a little small back patio. You want it extended, we have to pour the slabs as well. We have a subcontractor we work with to do that, and then we enclose it, put on a roof and enclose it.
Okay.
And then also, but to add to that, with the question you just asked just now about the what was your question again?
Pool enclosure.
Pool enclosure. So we do. They're not as popular as a patio screen, for example, but there's a lot. There's some people who use, to enclose the entire patio. That way you get the mosquito-free, leaves-free from all the debris washing your pool. But we do those. Like I said, it's not as popular because most people just like the outdoors part of it. But that's other item we use. Yes.
If you do a drone shot in Orlando, all those houses, you'll see everybody's got a screening pool.
Yeah.
So with a hurricane and stuff, I mean, pretty sure that
it's
good business.
Yeah.
Repairing all those.
Because they can be gone
yeah.
for sure. Because you can't hurricane.
I saw with
those.
Hurricane Ian, some of those boats ended up in those the ones along the canal end up in the pool.
Right,
It's crazy.
Looking for water.
Well, of course, right. Now, estimates. Do you still offer free estimates?
All estimates are free. Now it's slowed down a bit to the point where we can probably get it done within a day or two. In the last couple of weeks, it hasn't been that because of the influx of estimates that we were demanded to do. But estimates are free, and whether that's hurricane shutters and in a hurricane shutter, just to add to that, it's we have storm panels. That's the one you store, and probably the least. It's the least expensive of all, but you have to store those and then put on the wing nuts and so forth. And then we have the accordion shutters, we have the Bahama shutters, we have the hinge colonial, and then we have the roll-up shutters. And the roll-up shutters is very popular on the higher end places of where you get, there goes again, touch a button. And also uses as, we started using those now as garage doors. And because it takes up less space than a garage door and doesn't have the arch that goes inside to take up the room inside. It's just down to the front, so it takes up less space. So you create more space and more ceiling space in a garage. So they become very, very popular now as well, roll-up shutters.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
But now I know. No, tracking the order. Can I track my order once I place an order with you?
Josh, our tech guy, which is Josh, my youngest son, and like I said,
I'll be paying him,
They're the future. Yeah, he works. He actually works. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's not one of those children that doesn't work. Like I said, two of my boys is there, and like I said, they're the future of Hydes and Sons, and he's in tech, and yes, he's implementing that now where once you place your order and you get a confirmation back from our girl at the office there, and once you get that confirmation number back, then you can have to track and see it's updated. They'll give you a tentative date initially, but then coming close to that date, then they'll keep on updating it to when it's going to have to come and install.
Junior, realize you've been doing most of the talking, right?
Well, I said that, Mr. Anita, when we first got started. I said I would introduce and let Junior do all the technical stuff. But to get back to Junior's point, it's what has been implemented is that once the deposit is paid and it goes from an estimate and open work order, you're then automatically sent an email and a scheduled date of tentative limit to get started, or maybe we should be at your house Tuesday the 17th of December, for argument's sake. So yes, there's a tracking system of knowing exactly when your job will be completed and done.
Do you do repairs to, say, the accordion shutters? Say you had them for a while, and the handle, especially like on mine, I shut mine every night.
Yeah.
Right.
It's one big thing, I just shut it, and the handle, it's kind of coming loose and a little rusty on the inside, sort of. Do you fix?
Well, I'm glad you brought it up. I'm glad you brought it up because what we try to do is encourage people. I have a friend of mine, and obviously I call her no name. She literally. We installed her shutters in 2011. 2011. This is 2022, yeah? The first time she shut her shutters was last week, and they couldn't move.
Oops.
And I said to her, I said, hey, if you stood up long enough and the salt here came on, you'd freeze up. I know she's a personal friend, but it's what I say that to say this. What you do, the more it's like a boat, the more you use it, the better it stays. And what you do is actually, and we encourage people to at least every several months. Just go on a Saturday, oil them up.
Every quarter, every 3 months, just literally pull them across.
Lock it, and then that.
And there's a downside to that,
What?
Frogs.
Yeah, they love frogs. Yeah.
And my biggest fear is I'm standing there and they'll jump on me, and I jump and I broke my hand 2 months ago. That's not going to happen
That's
again.
not good. No.
So
I'll give you a little tip. They don't like WD-40.
Oh, okay.
So if you spray it up inside the channel there on your little long spout, they'll move from there, and then you oil it with the tire.
So we found lately there's a frog repellent, but it also oils your shutters.
Right.
Okay. So it helps because, as Junior rightly said, nobody think about it. We try to encourage our customers off season, January to June, test your shutters. Test your shutters, get them ready for a hurricane season.
Because when the storm was coming in, if you had 100 calls, 7 to 8 of those was asking us about coming to service each other at that point. So we do service, but it's not going to be done during the hurricane season. We try the off season from December to June. Now is a good time.
You know how it is.
Now is a good time.
We panic.
I know.
We see something. We see a tropical wave, and we panic, right?
Course.
But
Mr. Anita, it's funny. Now that we have kind of a captive audience, we try our best to encourage those the people that have not done the service. So for argument's sake, you're at a peak of a storm is going to be here in 3 or 4 days. We could have 1,000 men working, and you still don't have enough because the poor excited customer or the frantic customer that want their shutters closed because it's not working. They haven't tested them in 10 years, as Junior rightly said with his friend. We encourage January to June to do that. Otherwise, we really don't have the manpower to install new plus those services. So we try our best to encourage to get your shutter service January to June or July before hurricane season starts. Otherwise, they feel a bit disappointed. They say, well, you installed my shutters 14 years ago. Well, I'm sorry that we really can't come to do a service. It's right in the middle of a storm, etc.
Yeah, so folks, you hear that? Okay.
That's right.
So, Junior and Ray, we're out of time.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the time went this morning.
I know.
But anything, just contact details.
Okay. Well, you can call Heights and Sons at 949-7062. You can look us up on our Facebook page as well, and also you can email us at either myself, jr@heightsons.ky, Ray at heightsons.ky, reception at heightsons.ky. And or just like I said, just call the office and
what's your number?
949-7062.
7062.
I'm Mr. Google. Just go to Mr. Google and he'll hide something pop up.
That's right. And a reminder, you offer that shutter offer, 15% off through January, and
20% on accordion shutters through the same January, end of January, and then payment plan is also available. Give us a call.
Ray and Junior, thank you so much for being in the studio this morning. Don't be a stranger. Come back. We want to hear more.
Okay.
We're going to take a quick break for the news, traffic, and weather, and we'll be back with RCI PIS.
This Black Friday, Priced Right is going bigger.
And it starts with a chance to win big in our Black Friday fortune.
You can score a $1,000 Priced Right gift card just by subscribing to Know Our Deals First.
Entering is easy. This month from the 1st to the 23rd, visit pricedright.ky to subscribe and enter.
Or head to Instagram or Facebook at Priced Right K-Man for details on how to win.
You have everything to win
and nothing to lose.
Live better for less with a $1,000 Black Friday fortune at Priced Right.
The voice of the Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. On the heels of a traffic snarl to and from the eastern districts on Wednesday afternoon due to utility work, now those same drivers are stuck as police investigate a car crash just west of Beach Bay. 911 has confirmed to Radio Cayman that police are on the scene of a motor vehicle accident near the intersection of Wilty and Shamrock Road. No further details have been released at this time, but Radio Cayman has gotten several eyewitness reports that traffic is backed up severely. In other news, the way Cayman governs how tax authorities of participating countries exchange information with one another related to taxpayers' foreign bank and safekeeping accounts gets a thumbs up from a new report by Global Forum. Automatic exchange of information provides for the automatic exchange of certain financial account information between tax authorities on an annual basis to help them ensure the correct amount of tax is being paid. In its overall findings, Global Forum's report shows that Cayman's legal framework of implementing the AEOI standard is in place and consistent with the requirements under the terms of reference. As for its effectiveness, the report says Cayman's implementation is on track, and it's encouraging Cayman to continue its process accordingly to ensure ongoing effectiveness. Feedback from Cayman's exchange partners indicates that when seeking to match information with their taxpayer database, quote, a high proportion of partners achieved a, quote, relatively low level of success when compared to what they generally experience. In particular, 5 exchange partners highlighted issues with respect to the information received, such as individuals reported without a date of birth, missing addresses, or invalid tax identification numbers. The Global Forum report says follow-up discussions confirm that the Cayman Islands is aware of these issues and have identified what they consider to be the primary cause. They're also allegedly taking steps to remedy the situation. In 2021, there were more than 450,000 actual accounts reported by just over 19,000 financial institutions. The number of exchange partners Cayman is sending the information to has also continued to steadily grow since 2018, from 57 to more than 70 last year. In regional news, it's all about Tropical Storm Nicole, which at the latest check was located inland over central Florida near latitude 28.1 degrees north, longitude 81.6 degrees west. The National Hurricane Center says Nicole is moving towards the west-northwest near 14 miles per hour. A turn is expected towards the northwest and north-northwest later today and tonight, followed by an acceleration towards the north-northeast on Friday. On the forecast track, the center of Nicole will move across central Florida this morning, possibly emerge over the far northeastern Gulf of Mexico this afternoon, and then move across the Florida Panhandle and Georgia tonight and on Friday. Max winds have fallen to near 60 miles per hour with higher gusts. Additional weakening is forecast while Nicole moves over land during the next day or two, and the storm is likely to become a tropical depression over Georgia tonight or early Friday. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Debbie Russ. The head of the Ukrainian armed forces says Russian troops were left with no other option but to flee Kherson after his men destroyed their logistic supply lines and severely disrupted their command and control system. General Valery Zaluzhny said his forces had advanced 7 kilometres in the last 24 hours, liberating 12 settlements in the south. Iranian state media say security forces have arrested an employee of a UK-based TV broadcaster as she was trying to flee Iran. Elham Afkari is reported to be the sister of wrestler Naveed Afkari, who was executed 2 years ago after being convicted for stabbing a security guard to death. A court in Kenya has granted a request by public prosecutors to withdraw a $60 million corruption case against the deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. It cited insufficient evidence. A former senior Chinese leader who was arrested during the 1989 Tiananmen protests has died. Bao Tung, who was 90, had spent the last 3 decades of his life either in prison or under surveillance at home. A Hong Kong woman has been jailed for 3 months for waving a colonial-era flag while watching a medal ceremony at the Tokyo Olympics 2 years ago. The defendant had gathered with others at a shopping centre to watch a local fencer getting his gold medal. France says it will allow a ship carrying 200 migrants to dock in Toulon. The Ocean Viking, which rescued the migrants, initially took them to Italy, but the newly elected right-wing government there refused to allow them to disembark. That's the latest. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
PiratesFestCayman.com. Get the full 2022 Pirates Fest lineup.
Excuse me, I noticed you from afar.
Really? Me?
Well, not you. The KFC sandwich you're eating?
Oh, Zinger.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny.
No, it's called the Zinger Sandwich. Crunchy, juicy, 100% chicken breast, crisp lettuce, sweet mayo on a seeded bun with a little zing. KFC's chicken is not factory breaded, frozen and refried like the Burger Boys. Customize your KFC Zinger and dip it in barbecue sauce.
Wow, now I'm starting to notice you too.
KFC, it's finger licking good.
Hello, Cayman Islands. This is Carly Davis. Come and enjoy an evening of thanksgiving and praise at Cayman Gospel Fest on Saturday, November 19th at the Lions Center. Come see Cayman's best performers and church choirs. My band and I will be there. Admission is free. See you Saturday, November 19th at the Lions Center with Cayman Gospel Fest. You cannot afford to miss it. Yes, come out and let's have fun together.
Brought to you by the Progressives, celebrating 20 years of service to the Cayman Islands.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report, brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning, everyone. Hello? Hello? Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Okay, I see we have just about everyone, and of course Tom drops off, as per usual. Let's just wait a minute here. He always comes right back, and we're almost ready, and... oh, whoever's dog that is, please go on mute. Why won't it let me share my screen? Okay, looks like we're ready to start.
We're like a video conference with no technical issues. CG Britcay. Good like that.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Head east on Cove Road. Sharp left on Church Street. Sharper left. No, your other left. Did I say left? Nope, you missed it. Okay, I'm lost.
With money-saving bundling options for home and motor, we're like a GPS that doesn't steer you wrong. CG Britcay. Good like that.
Let's stop and ask for directions.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
You see how hard it's raining?
Yeah, and I don't have time to fight traffic and get my lunch from Subway. I have so much work to do.
Why don't you order Subway by using the Let's Eat or Bento app? Save time, stay dry, and get your sandwich fast.
I never thought of that. Great idea. I'm going to order now.
Order me a veggie pizza while you're at it.
And a cookie platter for the office.
Too busy at work or home? Is the rainy weather stopping you from dining out? Order your favorite Subway sandwich, wrap, or pizza through the Let's Eat or Bento app with fast and reliable delivery. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Applications for Leadership Cayman 2023 are now open. Leadership Cayman is a 6-month intensive program that identifies and equips leaders with exclusive tools and information needed to take their leadership skills to the next level. Participants will receive exclusive insight from key decision makers and business leaders, create long-lasting connections while challenging themselves to make a difference in their community. Application deadline is Friday, November 11th. To learn more, visit leadershipcayman.ky.
You know what I love to do with my family? Go fishing. I can put the bait on and cast and reel the line all by myself. My mommy and daddy say when they were little, there were plenty more fish to catch, but now there are lots more people fishing, so it's harder to find them. That's why we have marine parks now. They set some areas aside so the fish there can have babies and grow bigger. Then they swim out to other areas where I can catch them. Having the marine parks means there will still be fish there when I'm grown up and fishing with a family of my own.
For more info, download the Cayman DOE app or visit doe.ky.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. 18 minutes after 8 o'clock. I missed my cue there just to grab some water. Susan. Good morning to Susan. Susan's our producer. She is woman in the she's manning board today. Cameras, just about everything. Traffic as well. I'm just joined in the studio by the RCIPS, Royal Cayman Islands Police Service this morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now, this is our regular segment with the RCIPS, and that takes place every Thursday, right here on the Business Buzz. Today, our guests from the RCIPS will be discussing issues around road safety for the Cayman Islands, which, of course, is a growing concern. And to discuss this topic, PC Jodianne Parry has with her today Deputy Commissioner Mr. Kurt Walton and Superintendent Mr. Brad Ebanks. And they are both in charge of operational policing for the Cayman Islands. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Julian, I haven't seen you in a couple of months.
Yeah, you have been missing in action as well as
Indeed,
I have.
And I do apologize. I miss all the discussion and I miss what's happening with the RCIPS.
Yeah, well,
so
glad you're back and you're well.
I can catch up today, right?
Yes.
Now, before we continue, let me start with Deputy Commissioner Mr. Kurt Walton. Kurt, can you just tell us a little bit about your role with RCIPS, please?
Well, I'm currently Deputy Commissioner of Police, having responsibility for policing and security, or I suppose commonly referred to as operational policing. That encompasses everything from all uniform operations to our specialist operations, so your CID, your specialisms. So pretty much overall the full ambit as far as the operational policing. Of course, it sounds like quite a heck of a responsibility, no doubt it is, but I do have some real key people involved in that process and trying to help manage the current situation at Cayman Islands as far as policing. So Superintendent Brad Ebanks, who is who has overall responsibility for uniform frontline services policing, is one of a key individual involved in managing everything around certainly roads policing and just frontline service delivery. So it's key to have him here today. Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Brad. How are you?
I'm good morning. How are you doing? I'm good.
Well, the Deputy Commissioner just explained what you do.
Yes.
But you're not gonna get away from from expounding a little bit on your role.
Yes, as the deputy alluded to, I'm in charge of all uniform services within the RCIPS. Now, one of those key things is the traffic management unit, which police and traffic our roads and try to make our roads safer. So that is what we're here to discuss today, and I think we should have an interesting conversation with.
Okay, and PC Jodianne, you just can't just sit there and look pretty.
You sure?
What's your role?
Well, I'm the police media officer, and I work with the media and communications units. And my unit, what we do is we organize media events such as these, where senior officers can come and discuss current issues, as well as whenever you get a press release on our mobile app that comes from our office, as well as any other communication that's sent through the website. Okay. And that's basically our public facing.
No, you're here this morning to explain to us what you have different information, lots of information to share.
Yes.
Now, just give us in a nutshell what you're going to talk about this morning. We don't have much time, but whatever time we have, we're going to try and fit everything in.
Well, this morning I'm holding a facilitating role because we do have the bosses here. But we'll be discussing the traffic amendment to the DUI limit, as well as providing some traffic stats as it relates to DUI, collisions, speeding. We'll discuss a little bit about the school zones as well, because that's been an area of concern, as well as just a small discussion on our upcoming holiday operational plan.
Okay. Now, traffic. Let's talk about a new traffic amendment and what that means. Who's going to start?
I suppose I could sort of build a foundation for it, and then we can have a discussion around it. But so the discussion around the legal limit has been ongoing for a while now, and as we all know, on the 19th of October this year, the Traffic Amendment Act 2022 was enacted, and now that's the law as far as the legal limit. I could speak about micrograms of alcohol and milliliters of blood and everything else, but I think in simple terms, so it's easily understood, we went from 100 down to 70. Mm-hmm. So that's a drop of 30% immediately. So it's now 0.70% as opposed to what it used to be, 0.100%. So we went from a legal limit of 100 down to a legal limit of 70. And it's as simple as that. Now, what I won't do is get into discussions or start to discuss in terms of blood alcohol content and how much alcohol that means. I don't think that's the way, certainly from a policing perspective, we're not expertise in that area. We simply our message is don't drink and drive. But the reality is there is now this 30% less or reduction in what used to be the old limit. And even though it's still relatively new, we are really anxious to get the message out there. Continue, don't drink and drive. And I think it's still early days yet to see the effectiveness of it. So so far, I think we're about 2 or 3 incidents where that has happened, but we're still early. It's just a couple of weeks. So we'll obviously continue to monitor it month by month and provide certainly any stats that we have to in a media outlet when they ask for it.
Deputy Commissioner, I was going to ask you how many glasses of wine, but
no,
but
yeah, it's really it's not something we want to discuss, and certainly there's I understand there's quite a bit of science around it. I'm not a scientist, so I don't think it would be for us to discuss what that means as far as how much glasses of wine, how many beers. We just simply say don't drink and drive. If you're going out, have a good time and drink. Just find a designated driver or just get a taxi.
Now you've the Cayman Islands. You've moved from being one of the most lenient in this regard to now being one of the most stringent in this region. Correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, I mean, an ordinary person like myself, I always think about it when I'm not a drinker or anything like that, but you go out, you have a glass of wine, and you have to jump in your car and drive. I always ask myself, am I okay? How does this work? But I'm not going to ask you that. It's a rhetorical way of thinking. So let's talk about what you've seen so far. How many arrests? 3?
So far as the current limit, it's been minimal. We're still having persons well over the 100. So the numbers that are under it at the moment, is still minimal, and that's probably because it's only 2 or 3 weeks now since the enactment of that legislation. So it's around 2 at the moment. The last one was 0.93%.
So people are actually listening to the RCIPS. They're actually.
Yeah, that's what we would like to see. I know that there are some discussions in the community about the new limit, and people seem to be more conscious now that they of the risk being charged with drunk driving, where the limit before was 100. The law is a lot less tolerant now. So hopefully the message is getting out there and people are realizing that we mean business.
So the point there, in terms of stringent, we are 0.70, the UK is at 0.80, and Scotland is at 0.50. So that just kind of give you some idea as to where we not just stand regionally, but certainly globally, internationally. So, yeah.
Will ever follow Scotland, you think?
I don't know.
We'll see how this works out, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Now, a lot of people, might take heed to this, especially coming up to Christmas and all the celebrations and all that. But in the future, how can we, besides coming on the air and talking about this on the radio and all that, how can we educate the public or to have that reminder out there? Brad? I'll pick on Brad.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for picking on me. All right, so what we on an annual basis and through the years as well, we partner with our with NRA, National Drug Council, and Rotary as well. Especially during the seasonal or the Christmas season, we tend to see an increase of serious accidents, drunk driving. So in order to mitigate against those things, we always try to show or increase our enforcement, our presence, our high visibility, and to get that message out there through our partners and through media houses like yourselves, of the dangers of drunk driving and what we intend to do during that time. So every year we have Operation Winter Guardian, and the plans are in place now to commence, and we probably look to start on December 1st to put those things in place, and that will cover not only drunk driving but anything to do with safety, personal safety for women, burglaries, home safety, that the whole business safety, it's all around safety of persons, but the road safety plays a pivotal part of that. That's one of the key focuses that we continue to have this year.
Okay, on that note, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue discussion about road safety. Thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Insurance Center, Cayman Medical Supplies, and 345 Equipment Services. We're speaking with our CIPS. In the studio, we have Jody Ann Powery. She's a police media officer, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Mr. Kurt Walton, and we have Superintendent, Mr. Brad Ebanks. Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies. Free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
Open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Still delivering island-wide for your convenience. The Cayman Islands, a legacy of strength. Homes built to weather the storm. 345 Equipment is proud to continue the legacy, supporting the building industry with quality machinery, parts, and excellent repair services. Crushers, excavators, and heavy-duty construction equipment. Don't let equipment failure cause delays to your project. To build right, you need the right equipment. Call 525-0021 or email info@345equipment.ky. 345 Equipment, built to last.
Ahoy, mateys! Enjoy a jolly day out with the whole family at Cayman Turtle Center's Pirates Fest Family Fun Day on Sunday the 20th of November. Explore the wildlife, ride the water slide, splash in the lagoon, hunt for treasure and enjoy activities for the whole family. The fun takes place from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Costumes are encouraged and kids 12 and under in costume get free admission. Don't miss all the pirate festivities at Cayman Turtle Center on Sunday, November 20th. Harg!
In order to assist with the development of local farming, the Department of Agriculture would like to remind farmers of the on-farm artificial insemination services available for cattle, goats, and pigs. For more information on the service requirement or schedule an assessment appointment, contact the DOA's Veterinary Services section at 916-2218.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
27 minutes until 9 o'clock. Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. We have in the studio, as mentioned earlier, we have Jodianne Parry, Police Media Officer, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Mr. Kurt Walton, Superintendent, Mr. Brady Banks, all of the RCIPS. Now, before the break, we said we'll talk about safety. I have a question, but I'll hold my question until until we learn more about road safety. Now, let's talk about the kind of stats we've been seeing so far this year for DUI, and how do they correlate to collision?
If it's okay, I could
Yeah,
probably
sure.
answer that.
Yeah.
So at the moment, as far as let's start with the road traffic collisions, so far for the year, since January to present, we've had 2,255 road traffic collisions on our roads. What I will say from that, we've had 22 of those resulted in real significant serious injuries. So for instance, in one case, someone lost their leg, the leg had to be amputated, or you've had major internal damages as far as ribs and everything else. As moving on from the serious injuries, moving into road fatalities, out of the 2,255, 13 of those resulted in 14 deaths. So we and if I was to even delve on that, you've had a 1-year-old child, little Shamar Clark, that was died as a result of that with her dad, and then you've had an 84-year-old lady that died. So it's from 1-year-old to 84. So it shows you the impact this has had on families across all various demographics, across generations, from 1-year-old to 84 years old. So it just shows the impact. What I will say then on the DUI and the impact that's had, so far for the year, we've had 187 cases of driving under the influence. Now, alarming is that 77 of those 187 DUI were as a result of road traffic collisions. So you've had, that equates in percentage to 42%. So 42% of the 187 persons arrested for drunk driving actually was as a direct result of a road traffic collision from a motor vehicle accident. So that's the impact it's had, and it's one of the things we looked at when we are recommendations as far as you need to really seriously look at this drunk driving under influence situation, because half of our arrests are for drunk driving is caused by accidents. No, we haven't, prior to the point 100, we actually haven't looked at how many were caused, that would have been under. We just looked at those that were over the limit. And I certainly that number would grow if we had looked more in depth as to under, because we know a lot of persons actually blew under the legal limit at the time. So that's really the impact it's had. And if I delve further into it, as far as road traffic fatalities, if I go back 8 years, we've had 78 persons died on our streets from road traffic fatalities.
And that is staggering.
It's a real staggering. Those are staggering figures when you go back from 2015 to present. We've already had, like I've said, 14 deaths already this year. So it's just alarming. And so when we speak of the enforcement out there, as far as the enforcement of speeding, drunk driving, and those type of offences on our roads, and we speak about issues around road safety, this is why we say what we say. It's because it's just too many deaths on our streets, too many, and as much education and educational campaign we put in place in terms of going out there speaking, getting on the radio as we were doing this morning, educating the public. At times we have our community officers out there distributing just pamphlets in terms of road safety and the messages across the wider community about road safety. The reality is it still comes down to that personal responsibility, that person behind the wheel.
Yes.
It comes down to that personal responsibility of individuals to just say, you know what, I'm just going to do my bit to contribute to road safety on our roads. And that's where we're having an issue at the moment, as people not taking that personal responsibility.
Yeah, and I see really it's a blatant disregard for life. It's boiled down to that so far. Now I've had people, quite a few people say to me, there have been so many hit and run happening especially in Grand Cayman. I'm not gonna make you talk about that. I'm just making a comment. But we see that happen all the time. Now, my question that I had for you: pedestrian crosswalks. So the pedestrian is crossing and crossing the street, and you have traffic stop both sides. Now, the pedestrian is in the middle, almost getting across to the other side. And the traffic that just, the person just cleared, they move off. Is that correct? Or do they have to wait until the pedestrian reaches to the other side before they can drive off?
This is on pedestrian crossing?
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be crossing a pedestrian crossing when someone is on it. You have to wait until the person has crossed.
Mm-hmm. To the other end?
Yeah.
The other side?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure, because I've seen where motorists, the pedestrian hasn't reached the other side yet. I'm talking about where they've already cleared.
What happens if the pedestrian changes their mind, decide to turn back?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why you wait until the person reaches the sidewalk and is actually off the pedestrian crossing.
Mm-hmm.
Just wait until the person is crossed and then you move off.
Well, I've seen people
And
just
it's
driving off.
literally probably just 5 more seconds.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen people just, drive off because they can't wait. They just can't wait for the person to reach the other side. So anyway, that was just my thing this morning. So speeding.
Pet peeve this morning.
Pet peeve, yes, that's a good one. Yes, good way of putting it, my pet peeve. Now, speeding. How does speeding, we all know this, but we're going to ask a question anyway. How does speeding contribute to collisions? Right?
Okay. So one thing about speeding is that it lessens your ability or your time to respond to say a vehicle stopping in front of you, vehicle pulling out from a side road. That driver is expecting you to be traveling at a certain speed, and giving themselves time that they can actually make it out on the road. But if you're traveling at excessive speed, that person has actually misjudged, your arrival to where they are. Speeding, really and truly, it is. I'm trying to see how best I can wrap this up. It really increases the chances of
arriving alive.
Yes, or decreases. Mm-hmm. It decreases the opportunity of arriving alive. Today, when I was a boy growing up, if you heard of a serious accident or a fatal accident, it was months before you saw anyone speeding. Today, shortly after they actually speed past the scene. So we seem to have lost our culture. Our culture in road safety has diminished significantly. So that is one of the reasons why we're harping on people, sending that message. Look, please don't speed. We're out there, we're driving a message. It's really and truly speeding, when you're involved in a serious accident, serious injuries, it's a real life-changing situation for either yourself, and if there's a third party involved, it is really, really a life-changing situation. So speeding, it really increases your chances of serious accident or even fatal.
Speeding kills, for sure.
Yeah. Well, the reality is that we're 90% of our road traffic fatalities this year is because of speeding.
Yes.
And that's the real tragic, as Mr. Emax mentioned earlier, in terms of, if you're speeding, the chances you want to arrive late. I think those were your words, but that's the reality of it. So you just got to slow down. Where are we going? You're in a rush to go nowhere because Ireland's not that long.
And you rush past me, and eventually I catch up with you because you didn't get too far, right?
Yeah.
Generally speaking, people just rushing, and then before you know it, they're rushing to get 200 feet up above you. We've already issued over 2,800 speeding traffic tickets this year.
I was going to ask you for the stats, but thank you.
But I dare to say that is still low, actually. Still very much low, and there's probably a number of reasons for why the stats aren't higher. There are multiple other traffic offences that officers are focused on as well, drunk driving being one, and then the other types of heavy tent and everything else. But it's certainly still staggering that we've got 2,800 speed traffic tickets and speeding tickets. And what I want to say there is that the numbers, if I look at 50 miles per hour, for instance, in our 50 mile per hour zones, we've had instances where we've had persons from 80 miles per hour to 96. 80 miles per hour to 96. So it's 80, 84, 85, up to 96 miles per hour on our roads. I'm not sure about you, but certainly I've driven a lot of times in the United States in some of their highways, going 500-600 miles of travel, and there's no road, no highway that you should be doing 96 miles per hour, much less on our roads here.
Yeah, and can you imagine the impact of that vehicle if that was unfortunately involved in an accident? The chances of survival would be very, very minimal.
Hopefully the chickens don't decide to cross the street at that time, right? Now, speeding in school zones. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, first of all, let's say that the school zones, the limit for the school zones are 15 miles per hour. Now, what people sometimes forget or don't know is that the penalty for speeding in the school zones double. So when you get a regular speeding ticket, it's $20 every mile over the limit you go. In the school zones, it's actually $40.
Good.
Yes, absolutely. So that being said, remember that children are unpredictable, which is the reason why the school zone limits are so low. It might seem like you're at a crawl, but it's only for a quarter mile, if that much. It's really not taking you that much to avoid speeding in that area. We do have our community officers and some of our traffic officers that monitor the school zones, but there are plenty of them, and sometimes we can't be at all of them all at the same time. So we are depending on people to make sure that they don't speed in those zones and put the children in danger. That being said, if you double or more than double the limit, which would be 31 in the 50-mile zone, you do not get a ticket for that. You get sent to court where you will be disqualified for a period of time. So these are things to consider. For a lot of people, driving is their job. So you really can't afford to be losing your license for something that you could have definitely avoided and should be doing.
How about the bus? When you have a bus, the buses are picking up the children. How does that work?
Well, when the buses are picking up and dropping off students, the oncoming traffic as well as the traffic behind the bus should stop. Now, whether or not there is a median in the middle of the road or not, you should stop on both sides, because if that child is crossing the road to go all the way over, then that could potentially be a dangerous situation. So you're supposed to stop oncoming as well as traveling behind the school buses.
Well, don't look at me like that. I stop.
So I think getting back to the 2 points, because you're speaking of the school zone and obviously the school bus, at the heart of this, at the center of this, are our kids, our children, and safeguarding children. I can't say it enough. It is critical to everything we do in terms of their future. And on Jody's point, as far as the buses, there's no room for discretion. That's a must.
Yes.
The law makes it quite clear. You must stop till those kids are passed. So there's no room for interpretation on that.
And Miss Anita, I can't tell you the amount of times that somebody who has broken that rule and has gotten a ticket or whatever the case may be has said, "I didn't see the bus." It's a big yellow bus with all the bells and whistles. It has a stop sign on the side of it. It has lights on it.
And it is
it's
labeled
very hard.
school bus. It is labeled school bus.
It's very hard to say that you didn't see the school bus.
And I'll say, because I probably see one or two every morning, and the drivers of those school buses are doing everything they can possibly do to make sure oncoming or vehicles behind them know that they're picking kids up or letting kids off.
Yeah, they'll cross.
They'll do a little crisscross, so to speak. They'll put the stoplights out, and they'll make it quite visible that they're stopping to either pick kids up or let them off.
But there's always some person out there who just don't care. On that note, before I forget, we had a caller, or someone just mentioned that Savannah area, the drivers do not want to slow down or stop for the school bus.
I cross that area every morning, and I do agree, and that's why we generally have a traffic officer or a community officer out there. The community officer for that area is PC Matthews, and he and Miss Fredericks are usually out there whenever they can be. Again, it's not possible for officers to be there every single day, or if they're there in the morning, then they may not be able to be there in the evening or vice versa. So we are depending on people to do what they know that they're supposed to do. And that area in Savannah, in that specific area, we've had so many accidents where pedestrians have been knocked down. So it's a very, very dangerous area. We really should be paying attention to that.
No, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue the discussion to take us up to 9 o'clock. Thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Insurance Center, Cayman Medical Supplies, and 345 Equipment Services.
Homeowners, protecting your family and property is crucial during the season, and you should always assess insurance needs long before a storm makes landfall. Most insurers won't issue policies when a storm is imminent. Cayman Insurance Center's team of professionals can help owners like you find the most comprehensive coverage and competitive rates. Call Michael Webster today at 925-5433 or Denise Brown at 814-7229. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call Michael and Denise today at Cayman Insurance Center.
Come Celebrate 53 years with big savings. Brand Source Home Gallery invites you to their 53rd anniversary sale. 1 week only, November 7th to 12th. Save up to 40% off store-wide. Sale discounts on appliances, lighting and fans, faucets, sinks, kitchen cabinets, custom closets, mattresses, housewares, and more. Come get inspired by inspiring luxury as Brand Source Home Gallery celebrates 53 years with a sale till November 12th. 209 Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park. Call 623-5000.
And the whole island is one big party, party, party.
Grand Cayman Pirates Fest is here. Taking over Seafarers Way. Saturday, November 12th, Georgetown events start at 1 p.m. with the cardboard boat race and water mermaids showcase. The pirates storm the streets at 3 p.m. followed by the float parade, national song and heritage costume competition, and fireworks show at 9 p.m. A full Saturday of thrills for the entire family, including 8 hours of food festival. Saturday, November 12th, the party takes over Seafarers Way. Afternoon till night. Come for lunch, party a bunch, and pirate the night away.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the people's station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach. Business Boss.
With just about 7.5 minutes left before 9 o'clock, and just about our time to wrap things up with the RCIPS in the studio this morning. Jody Ann Powie, Police Media Officer. She's always got something to say. And Deputy Commissioner, Mr. of Police, Mr. Kurt Walton, and Superintendent, Mr. Brad E. Banks. Now, before we took that break, we were talking about school zones and stuff like that. Now, let's move to holiday season. Brad.
Yes.
I know you love to talk about Winter Guardian.
Oh, yes.
Talk about this last year.
Yes.
I thought you were going to change the name this year.
No, we just changed the year. Last year, Winter Guardian 2021. This year, 2022.
Okay, fair. Now, let's. What do you have planned for this year?
Okay, so certainly in high visibility policing. Not only on our roads, but in our neighborhoods. We will be meeting with members of the public, the commercial establishments. We'll be appearing on the talk shows as well. We'll be having some stuff on our website. But as I mentioned earlier, we see road safety as one of our most critical areas to pay attention to. You would have heard the Deputy Commissioner give some stats on road fatalities over the last years, which when we compare to any other unfortunate death, it is really, really high up there. So our appeal really is to members of the public, curtail your driving habits, drive safely, don't drink and drive. We will be out in numbers over the holiday weekend. Unfortunately, I mentioned earlier, we see this time of year going forward into the holiday season as some of our busiest times, and we are cognizant that there are sort of office parties and celebrations, but we need everyone to be more responsible when they're driving, and our message is do not drink and drive. The fact is, really, truly, is you don't have to be over the limit to be impaired. You can still be on the limit, and it will still affect your driving. So you don't have to be over 70%. So if you're drinking, don't plan to drive.
And I just to add to what Superintendent is saying about being impaired, it's not just alcohol that impairs your judgment when you're driving.
Correct.
If you're taking prescription and that kind of thing as well, or other drugs, that also impairs your judgment when it comes to driving. and it's also an offense. It's also driving under the influence.
Yes, yes. So we'll be looking to partner with our stakeholders. Like I mentioned earlier, usually we'll get National Drug Council, our NRA colleagues, and Rotary each year to help us enforce this and educate the public once again, to try again to curtail fatal accidents, serious accidents, and hopefully we can drive the numbers down this year.
So the RCIPS will be our winter guardian.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right after hurricane season.
Yes.
Okay. Now, some takeaway points to leave with our listeners this morning. Julianne, you want to? Yeah.
Sure. So I just want to say that, as usual in the holiday season, as the superintendent was alluding to, we do partner with other stakeholders. As usual, we'll be taking part in the Arrive Alive 345 campaign. So you'll see a little bit of us over the holiday, more than usual, Miss Anita. That being said, I want to encourage anyone who is companies, especially who are putting on Christmas party events for their staff, to get shuttles for their staff and encourage them to use the shuttle service so that they're not drinking and driving, because the fact of the matter is you will be paying for alcohol for your staff. It's only reasonable for you to also get them home safe. I'm going to throw Simon under the bus, so to speak. If you want to organize shuttle service, Simon has contacts with the various tour companies, because he does the Purple Ribbon Bus. He, along with Delisa and the team at NDC, does the Purple Ribbon Bus, and their number is 949-9000 at the NDC. So just get in touch with him, and he'll tell you the way to go.
Okay. Deputy Commissioner, do you have any last words?
Absolutely, Anita. So for me, 78 deaths on our roads since 2015. That's a lot of hurt. Families have been hurt as a result. So the message is, slow down, be a considerate driver, don't drink and drive.
Thank you for that. Now, Brad?
Just to echo what the Deputy Commissioner said, that number is really staggering compared to any other fatalities that we've had in these islands. So we have to address this situation that has risen, and it is really about persons taking the responsibility for their own driving and drive safe. Don't drink and drive.
All right, Julianne, contact details?
Yeah, so you can visit our website, rcips.ky, for any information that you may need on road safety, holiday safety tips, burglary prevention. We have all of that on our website under crime prevention. As well as you can download our mobile app. It's like a mini version of our website. It's easy to use. It's free to download on the Apple Store as well as the Google Play Store. And we're also on Instagram and Facebook, and that's where we post a lot of messaging like road closures and that kind of thing. Trending things that we don't necessarily need to put out a press release on, but people need to know about. So you might want to follow us there as well.
Okay. And you'll be back in the studio, God's willing, on December 8th for the final segment for the 2022.
Yes.
Look forward to that. In the meantime, once again, thanks to our sponsors. We're out of time, a minute after 9. Susan's going to kill me. Thanks to our sponsors, Cayman Insurance Center, Cayman Medical Supplies, and 345 Equipment Services. To all our listeners, our YouTube viewers, and of course, the producer of the Business Buzz, as well as all of our guests on both segments this morning. Thank you so much. Until November, what date we'll meet? 15th, Tuesday, November 15th, when we bring another Business Buzz. In the meantime, please stay safe. Have a wonderful day from me, your host, Anita Canton. Thank you.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical medical supplies. Call them at 949-6211. And Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And 345 Equipment, quality machinery, parts, and repair services for all of your construction equipment needs. Call 525-0021 or email info@345equipment.ky.
Radio Cayman, the voice, the heart, the soul of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice.